The most powerful hero. It's without a doubt Franklin Richards. He has been one of the most absurdly powerful heroes in Marvel for decades. And the craziest part is that he started as the son of the Fantastic Four. At first he looked like a normal kid born to Reed Richards and Sue Storm, but Marvel slowly revealed that Franklin wasn't remotely normal. His powers evolved into full reality manipulation on a cosmic level. He could reshape matter, alter timelines, warp dimensions, and eventually create entire universes from scratch. There were moments where even cosmic entities treated him as someone dangerous enough to monitor carefully. One of the most famous examples came after the multiverse collapsed during Secret Wars, when Franklin helped rebuild reality alongside Molecule Man and Reed Richards. Marvel has plenty of heroes capable of destroying cities or planets, but Franklin reached a level where the structure of reality itself became something he could manipulate almost naturally. Characters like Galactus treated Franklin with genuine respect. In some timelines, Galactus literally became Franklin's herald or ally, and there are other stories showing older versions of Franklin surviving at the end of the universe itself while massive cosmic structure died around him. Marvel also classified him as an Omega level mutant, though later comics complicated that idea a bit. Still, his feats remained ridiculous. Franklin created pocket universes as a child and casually performed reality-altering feats that would destroy most other characters mentally or physically. A lot of strong Marvel characters still depend on artifacts, external energy, magic sources, transformations, or temporary boosts. Franklin's abilities come directly from himself. Reality bends because he exists. The most powerful villain. Over the years, Marvel already had cosmic gods, devourers of worlds, demons, reality warpers, and multiversal threats long before he appeared. The one below all somehow managed to feel even more disturbing than most of them. He exists beneath all creation itself in a place called the Below Place, which acts like the darkest layer of Marvel reality. While the one above all represents creation and existence, the one below all represents destruction, hatred, suffering, and the inevitable decay waiting underneath everything. One of the scariest parts about him is that he's deeply connected to gamma energy, meaning every gamma mutate in Marvel, especially Hulk, is tied to this terrifying force in some way. Suddenly Hulk's stories stopped being just about radiation and anger. They became connected to a cosmic horror lurking underneath the entire universe. During the Immortal Hulk run by Al Ewing, Marvel completely changed how readers viewed Hulk mythology. The one below all wasn't treated like another villain trying to conquer Earth for a few issues. He felt ancient and deeply tied to the fate of existence. One of the wildest reveals showed a future where Bruce Banner becomes the final Hulk at the literal end of the universe after the one below all fully takes control of him. In that future, Hulk survives while almost everything else dies. Entire civilizations disappear, cosmic beings fall, and reality slowly rots away until Hulk becomes this horrifying immortal creature wandering through the remains of existence. The one below all basically uses him as a vessel for total destruction, and that scale is exactly why people place him so high in Marvel's villain hierarchy. Thanos wiped out half the universe with the Infinity Gauntlet. Doctor Doom stole godlike power and created Battleworld. Null covered the universe and lived in darkness. The Beyonders destroyed the multiverse, but the one below all feels different because Marvel portrays him almost like the inevitable destructive side of existence rather than just another evil ruler or conqueror. The most powerful race. The Beyonders are probably the closest thing Marvel has ever had to an entire species of cosmic gods operating above the multiverse. Most Marvel races conquer planets, galaxies, or dimensions. The Beyonders were casually operating on a scale far beyond that. These beings existed outside the known Marvel multiverse in what Marvel sometimes described as the Beyond Realm, a place completely separated from normal reality. Even the most absurd cosmic entities in Marvel barely understood them. Entire universes, timelines, cosmic hierarchies, and abstract entities were basically experiments to them. During Hickman's Marvel run leading into Secret Wars, the Beyonders were revealed to be behind the destruction of the multiverse. They engineered the death of countless universes across reality and created the incursions that slowly caused existence to collapse. Characters like the Living Tribunal, the Celestials, Eternity, Infinity, and other abstract forces represent entire aspects of existence. The Beyonders still managed to wipe through them. At one point, they killed the Living Tribunal, one of the single most powerful entities in Marvel cosmology. That moment alone completely changed how fans viewed them. Marvel had spent decades building cosmic entities as nearly untouchable gods. Then suddenly the Beyonders showed up and started erasing them from existence. Even the Celestials, beings capable of creating and judging civilizations across the universe, felt tiny compared to what the Beyonders were doing. Marvel constantly introduces powerful civilizations, but the Beyonders felt completely detached from normal limits. They operated like scientists, dissecting reality. Even Reed and Doom barely survived the chaos they caused. In fact, one of the only only reasons existence continued at all was because Doom managed to steal power, connect to the Beyonders during Secret Wars, and reshape reality into Battleworld. That alone says a lot. The guy who became God Emperor Doom needed Beyonder level power just to temporarily hold reality together. There are definitely debates in Marvel scaling communities about races like the Celestials or abstract cosmic collectives, especially because Marvel retcons its hierarchy constantly. But if we're talking about the race that made the entire Marvel cosmology panic at once, destroyed multiversal structures on an unimaginable scale, and forced even the strongest beings into survival mode, the Beyonders are still one of the most terrifying things Marvel has ever created. The most powerful artifact. I mean, is there any other iconic artifact than the Infinity Gauntlet with the Infinity Stones? I don't think so. Each gem already controls a fundamental part of existence: time, space, reality, power, mind, and soul. Putting them together creates a weapon capable of controlling almost every aspect of reality itself. The Gauntlet became legendary mainly because of Thanos, who used it during the original Infinity Gauntlet story to erase half the universe with a snap. And honestly, that wasn't even close to the limit of what the Gauntlet could do. With all the gems active, users have rewritten reality, manipulated timelines, controlled life and death, reshaped universes, and fought cosmic entities that normally exist far above gods and superheroes. Some artifacts specialize in destruction, others focus on magic, resurrection, or cosmic energy. The Gauntlet practically controls existence itself. Characters using it can alter matter, stop time, trap souls, teleport across dimensions, or overpower beings that should logically be untouchable. During the original story, Thanos casually defeated teams, cosmic gods, and even abstract entities trying to stop him. Yes, the heart of the universe is OP, the cosmic cube has rewritten reality multiple times, even the Darkhold carries dangerous magical influence across dimensions. But the Infinity Gauntlet became the definitive Marvel artifact because it combines cosmic scale, insane feats, and cultural impact all at once. Some artifacts rely on specific conditions, but the Gauntlet gives its wielder direct control over the building blocks of reality. Doctor Doom can use it differently from someone like Thanos. A hero like Adam Warlock handles it differently from a villain obsessed with domination. The artifact basically amplifies whoever controls it into a near unstoppable force. There's also something visually perfect about it. A giant golden gauntlet carrying 6 glowing gems instantly communicates danger before the story even begins. The most powerful virus. The Hunger virus is easily one of the most horrifying viruses in Marvel history because of how quickly it destroyed an entire universe. It infected beings like Spider-Man, Hulk, Wolverine, the Avengers, the X-Men, and countless other powerful characters while still allowing them to keep their intelligence, memories, and abilities. That combination made the outbreak terrifying almost immediately. Entire planets feel unbelievably fast because once one powerful hero became infected, containment basically became impossible. The virus spread across Earth first, then eventually expanded beyond the planet itself as infected heroes started consuming entire civilizations across space. Some versions of the story even show the zombies consuming planets, alien civilizations, and cosmic beings. Yes, the Legacy virus devastated mutant kind emotionally and physically for years. The Techno-Organic virus transformed living beings into machines. Terrigen exposure created chaos among mutants and Inhumans, but the Hunger virus weaponized Marvel's strongest heroes against the universe itself. So out of all of these, it has the biggest catastrophic potential. A lot of fictional viruses rely on numbers and slow societal collapse. The Hunger virus immediately infected beings capable of leveling cities, surviving nuclear explosions, traveling through dimensions, or wiping out armies alone. And the virus also created one of Marvel's bleakest alternate universes, because almost nobody could realistically stop it once enough heroes became infected. Every new infected character made the outbreak exponentially worse. The most powerful weapon, and the award goes to the Ultimate Nullifier. This weapon can completely erase anything from existence. It first appeared in older Fantastic Four stories connected to Galactus, and over time, Marvel turned it into one of the absolute highest level weapons in their cosmology. Even Galactus respects it. Characters constantly describe it as one of the few weapons capable of threatening cosmic entities on his level. Its full limits are intentionally vague. Different stories imply it could erase universes, timelines, dimensions, or even entire sections of reality, depending on how it's used. One thing about the comics, the reactions surrounding something often matters as much as that something itself. Entire civilizations panic when the nullifier enters the conversation. Cosmic beings immediately take it seriously. Reed Richards once used the threat of the nullifier to force Galactus into backing down, so a human scientist managed to intimidate one of Marvel's greatest cosmic entities because the weapon was that dangerous. Yes, Mjolnir channels cosmic storms and magical power, the Chen Ring rings, and various celestial weapons all reached absurd levels over the years, but most of those weapons still operate within reality somehow. The Ultimate Nullifier feels different because it threatens existence on a fundamental level, and it's also very small and simple compared to its power. Marvel could have designed it as some giant world-ending machine, but instead it often appears as this compact, futuristic device quietly capable of deleting reality. The most powerful substance or material. Both vibranium and proto-adamantium are ridiculously overpowered in completely different ways. Vibranium became famous mainly through Wakanda and Black Panther, while adamantium became permanently tied to Wolverine and some of Marvel's deadliest weapons. Proto-adamantium is even rarer than normal adamantium because it's the nearly indestructible version used in Captain America's shield. Marvel never treats these two metals like normal metals. They almost feel like cheat codes inside the universe. Entire wars, experiments, weapons programs, and civilizations revolve around controlling them because of how absurdly valuable and dangerous they are. Vibranium is probably the most versatile material in Marvel history. The metal absorbs, stores, and redirects energy in ways that almost breaks physics entirely. Wakanda built one of the most advanced civilizations on Earth largely because of its access to vibranium. Their weapons, medical technology, transportation systems, armor, and scientific advancement all evolved around it. Different forms of vibranium even developed unique properties depending on when they came from. Wakandan vibranium absorbs vibrations and kinetic energy, while Antarctic vibranium, also called anti-metal, can liquefy nearby metals completely. Over time, Marvel pushed vibranium further and further into cosmic territory. Some stories imply this could affect magic, dimensional energy, and advanced cosmic technology depending on how it's used. Other materials definitely deserve mention too, like Eurometal that channels magical power and allows weapons like Thor's hammer to exist. Carbonadium became a flexible alternative to adamantium. Mysterium recently entered mutant lore with insane anti-magic and energy properties. Anyway, as insane as vibranium is, proto-adamantium still has one massive advantage, and that's durability. This material is famously connected to Captain America's shield, which survived impacts and attacks that should logically destroy almost anything in existence. Proto-adamantium formed accidentally through a unique process that Marvel basically admitted could never truly be replicated again. That's why Cap's shield became one of the rarest objects in Marvel history. Unlike normal adamantium, proto-adamantium has almost no weakness once fully stabilized. Cosmic attacks, energy blasts, magical assaults, and physical impacts constantly fail to destroy it. Wolverine's skeleton uses standard adamantium, which is already unbelievably durable, but proto-adamantium exists on another level entirely. So honestly, the answer depends on how you define most powerful. Vibranium is the most useful, versatile, and civilization-changing material in Marvel history. Proto-adamantium feels closer to the ultimate defensive material because of its near indestructibility. So yeah, both options can be the answer to what is the most powerful metal in Marvel lore. The most powerful super soldier. This is a no-brainer. It's Sentry. Robert started as an ordinary man who took a version of the super soldier serum, and the serum turned him into a near unstoppable being with power often described as the power of a million exploding suns, and Marvel absolutely treated him that way. Sentry could fly faster than most heroes could react, tear through enemies, physically stronger than Hulk-level characters, manipulate energy and molecules, regenerate from horrifying injuries, and survive attacks that would instantly kill almost anyone else. At times, he honestly felt closer to a cosmic entity stuck inside a human body. The strongest heroes and villains constantly treated him like a last resort or a potential catastrophe waiting to happen. The guy ripped Ares in half during Siege like it was nothing. He fought Hulk head-on multiple times, overwhelmed entire teams, and displayed raw physical strength on a level most Marvel characters simply couldn't match. And there's the Void, the dark counterpart inside him, connected to his unstable mind. Whenever Sentry lost control, the Void emerged and turned him into a monster. Entire cities, teams, and realities could be threatened once that darker side took over. Now, saying all that, other super soldiers definitely deserve mention too. Captain America became the perfect human physically and mentally. Nuke was engineered into a brutal killing machine. Red Guardian and Winter Soldier reached elite levels too, but Sentry exists on an entirely different scale from all of them. His abilities became so overwhelming that Marvel often had to write stories around his instability because otherwise he'd solve conflicts too quickly. The most powerful symbiote. It's not your typical alienish symbiote like Venom, Carnage, or Toxin. It's without a doubt All Black the Necrosword. It is one of the deadliest things ever connected to symbiote lore in Marvel. The weapon was created by Null, and All Black became famous because it could kill gods, actual gods. The weapon first gained major attention through God Butcher, who used it to massacre divine beings across the universe for centuries. Entire pantheons feared him because of what the sword allowed him to do. As Marvel expanded symbiote mythology, the Necrosword became even more important. The blade could generate living tendrils, shape weapons, create monstrous creatures, heal its user, manipulate darkness, and corrupt whoever wielded it over time. The sword managed to wound and challenge cosmic-level characters, who normally shrug off nearly everything. Over time, Marvel connected the weapon directly to Null and the living abyss that existed before creation's light entered the universe. The weapon corrupts its wielder slowly, feeling their rage and hatred while making them stronger, and that connection between power and corruption made Gorr especially terrifying because the sword amplified every part of his obsession with destroying gods. The most powerful psionic. When Marvel fans debate the strongest psionic character, the conversation almost always ends up coming back to Jean Grey and Nate Grey. Both characters push psychic abilities so far beyond normal telepathy. Marvel already has incredible powerful telepaths like Professor X, Emma Frost, Psylocke, and the Shadow King, but Jean and Nate, their minds can affect reality itself. Jean became legendary partly because of her connection to the Phoenix Force, which massively amplified her telepathy and telekinesis into universe-level territory. Nate Grey, meanwhile, was introduced as an alternate reality mutant created from the DNA of Cyclops and Jean Grey, basically making him a generically engineered psychic monster from the start. Both their abilities constantly evolved beyond simple mind reading. Jean Grey has shut down minds across massive distances, battled cosmic entities mentally, manipulated matter with telekinesis on insane scales, and connected to universal consciousness through the Phoenix Force. At her strongest, she became the White Phoenix of the Crown, a form many fans consider one of the highest states in a mutant ever achieved. Meanwhile, Nate Grey became so powerful that reality itself struggled to contain him at times. He manipulated matter, warped dimensions, created alternate realities, and displayed psychic output so overwhelming that other telepaths couldn't even properly comprehend it. One of the crazy things about Nate is that his powers were often unstable because his body literally couldn't handle how much energy he contained. So the debate between these two honestly depends on which versions of the character you use, because Nate, at full power, became absurdly dangerous, but overall, I'd still probably give the edge to Jean Grey because of her consistency, feats, and connection to the Phoenix Force. Jean reached a level where her psychic abilities stopped feeling limited by normal mutant rules entirely. The Phoenix amplified her into something closer to a cosmic force, tied more directly to life, death, rebirth, and universal consciousness. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. The most powerful empire. The intergalactic empire of Wakanda is one of the wildest concepts Marvel ever introduced because it takes Wakanda, a nation already known for being technologically advanced, and pushes it to an absolute ridiculous scale. Over thousands of years, Wakandan explorers expanded across space and built a massive interstellar civilization controlling entire systems throughout the galaxy. By the time readers fully saw the empire, Wakanda had evolved into a civilization so advanced that even other galactic powers looked primitive compared to it. Their technology reached levels bordering on reality manipulation, their armies were massive, their science mixed advanced technology, culture, warfare, spirituality, and strategy together in ways that made them feel almost unstoppable. Marvel basically asked what happens if the smartest and most resourceful nation on Earth gets thousands of years to expand into space. The answer became one of the strongest empires in comic history. The Kree built military power. The Skrulls focused heavily on infiltration and conquest. The Shi'ar Empire became one of the major ruling powers of the galaxy. Wakanda somehow combined technology, warfare, intelligence, strategy, and resources all together into one terrifying civilization. They had incredibly advanced ships, devastation weapons, genetically enhanced soldiers, and enough knowledge to compete with civilizations far older than humanity. The most powerful being in all of Marvel is none other than the one above all. He sits at the absolute top of Marvel's cosmic hierarchy. Marvel has gods, it has abstract entities, multiversal rulers, cosmic judges, reality warpers, and beings capable of destroying universes casually. The one above all exists above all of them. He's essentially portrayed as the supreme creator of Marvel. Characters like the Living Tribunal, Eternity, Infinity, Death, and even the most absurd cosmic entities still exist beneath him in the hierarchy. Yes, he isn't constantly showing up, throwing punches, or fighting villains. Most appearances are brief, mysterious, or even symbolic, and that actually makes him feel more important. The less Marvel explains him, the larger he feels. He's more like the Force allowing the Marvel universe to exist at all. Once you reach him, there's basically nowhere else to go. Every category before him, strongest hero, strongest villain, strongest race, strongest weapon, still exists somewhere inside the Marvel system. The one above all stands above the system. He doesn't need flashy feats every issue, because his role in the hierarchy already says everything. The multiverse exists because he allows it to. He's different. He is him.